Hi, I'm Lisa, a practicing liminal witch and tarot reader with over 28 years experience in helping people find guidance through the cards. On this channel I talk about all sorts of witchy, spooky and mystical things that interest me, and I hope will interest you too. Welcome to Beyond Authentic Witchcraft. This is a Psychic Sunday session, so let's see what's in store today. Good evening, hello everybody, it's Lisa from Beyond Authentic Tarot. Hopefully the interwebs are working fine now. We've just got back from the tarot event that we were at, literally about an hour ago now, and we are now here. When I say we, I've actually got a Neil who is sat. Do you want to just come on camera and just go, it's a Neil! We exist in the same universe. Look at this. Right, bugger off now. It's not your stream. You'll be there when we do a podcast. Neil, we're going to be filming in a bit. No, Neil is going to be modding from live in the studio, which I think you can see because of the angle. Look at the mess that's just behind me here. But never mind, you can't see the rest of it. So we've just come back from a tarot event. It's been a very long, exhausting, and interesting 2 days. If you want to know more about exactly what was going on and what our thoughts were, because Neil was there, also the lovely Patricia was there. As you can see, she's brought me a lovely a gift of a crow. Holland was there. Ed was there. There is a photo. If you go to the YouTube channel, I've just popped it on the YouTube channel, and I'll try and actually see if I can download on here. In fact, I'll try and do that in a second, but I have just posted a photo of me and the mods. It's the first time we've ever been in the same place together, and it makes my little heart sing. It really does. So thank you so much to everybody for coming through. I can't stop smiling at that because it's really cool. Anyway, let's have a look at who is here. Patricia is here. Good evening, Patricia. Holland is here. Good evening, Holland. Neil is here because he's live. Good evening to Shivani. Good evening to who else have I got in the chat? Good evening, Flower Beauty, my darling. Good evening, Rabina, my darling. Good evening to Belinda. Hello, my darling. Lovely to see all of you. It's really, really wonderful to have you here on the live stream. So we have had, let me take my glasses off. I will need them later. We have had a very hectic couple of days. Bless her. Patricia was in a B&B that didn't even do B. It did 1B, but not the 2B, if you know what I'm saying. So there was no breakfast. It's been interesting, hasn't it? It's been a wild couple of days. Yes. And there will be stories. And I even got myself some lovely new earrings, and they're big old hoops, and they keep catching. But you know what? We're running with it. So Wispy got out. He had a bit of a run out today. Bit of reading done. That was really good. It's been really, really cool, actually. I've really enjoyed it. So yes, there will be a podcast episode about this and what we thought and how it compared to what we thought it was going to be like and all of the above. So keep an eye out for that. We're going to actually film together tomorrow. We'll be in the same space. That will be absolutely wonderful. Anyway, we are going to be doing some reading. You saw the picture, Flower Beauty. That's wonderful. You saw the beauty. Belinda, you're offering to be a mod if I ever need more. Thank you, my darling. I may well take you. You'll regret ever offering that. I'm telling you. You may well hear from us at some point. It does, doesn't it? Patricia said the crow looks great on camera. It absolutely does. I'm loving it. Yeah, Patricia did a hell of a lot of walking yesterday. Just think of how much weight you've lost. Think how trim you're going to be. All those steps on your step counter. I don't think she's got a step counter. I think she just counts it in her head as she goes through. But anyway, it's been a fun weekend. And yeah, Rufus got a really good break from me, which is wonderful. Rufus has been really happy as well. So all in all, it's been an experience. But we are back live. I didn't think I was going to make it today, but you know what? I kind of need to be back with my people. I think that's what it is. I need to be back with my tribe. This is my tribe. We love you all. This is a really good. It was lovely to see everyone. Isabella's here. Good evening. Oh, Isabella. Oh, that is wonderful news. Hi, Lisa. You wanted to say thank you for the last reading. Your relationship is going well. Fan-bloody-tastic. Do we need to buy a hat yet? You need to give us a bit of a warning, Isabella. If me and Patricia need to buy hats, and Ed and that need to buy suits, you need to give us a little bit of a warning, because some hats just look odd on my head, so we need a warning. Adiba Mansour's here. Hello, my friend. You've not been here for a long time. Such a positive energy. Belinda, do you know what it is? We've watched the podcast when it comes out. We've had a very interesting 2 days, and I'm very glad to be back with my tribe. You do not know how wonderful it is to be part of a community of like-minded souls, even at other events which should be like-minded souls. Not necessarily. I am very pleased to be here tonight. I can't stop smiling. Have you noticed? All day I've been like, rah, rah, rah. And today I'm like, yay! It's you in the room. Yeah, it is. It is. It's different energy vibes. But anyway, we're loving it. So, as always, how do you get a reading on this channel? Let's get into the nuts and bolts of it. So if you want a tarot reading, there are 2 simple ways of doing it, okay? The first way is, I've just realized I haven't got any of my normal stuff up. The first way of getting it is you can go across to buymeacoffee.com, just up there, look, buymeacoffee.com/beyond authentic. I've just realized, let me turn this light down a little bit. It's a bit bright, isn't it? There we go. Oh, that's better. I'm not whiting out your TV sets or whatever you're watching on now. So yeah, buymeacoffee.com/beyond authentic if you want to go and pay £4 in the UK to QJUMP. If not, I'll be calling for a round in just a minute. When I do that, it is time to put your question into the live chat. And basically what you've got to do is I will then pick one of them at random. Now, when I say random, I do literally mean random, because without me specs on, I can barely make out the things on the StreamYard, the messages that crop up. So I can barely see them. So I just grab one at random. Now, as I say, we'll do that in just a minute. Before I do, and I have said this so many times this weekend, are you ready? Tarot is for entertainment purposes only. You do make all of your own decisions about your own life. Tarot should never be used to replace medical advice, legal advice, financial advice, or counselling advice. If you're looking for support in those areas, please do seek professional advice in those areas. And I've said this a lot this weekend as well. If you fall over and break your arm and it's pointing out and you're spurting with blood, crystals and herbs and oils may help heal, but the first thing you need to do is get yourself to casualty, get it put in a pot, do the rest later. So the mundane before the magical. That's what we advocate on this channel. Now, I do have to say, as always, you'll know this if you've been a regular here, but once again, I am again, do you know what? There's so much YouTube drama, right? If you want to see me do a tarot reading for Colleen Ballinger, what's her Miranda Sings, and all of that that's going on, which is not really fun drama. There's a lot behind it. Some of it is trigger warning. If you want to see me do that reading, please comment. If you're watching this on the replay crew, please comment, because if there's enough of you that want me to do it, I'll do it. But I have found myself in YouTube drama this week yet again.
YouTube tarot reader Lisa Lee has been found using bad language during her twice-weekly live streams. In a shocking turn of events, it has also been discovered that she will not tell you what you want to hear, only what you need to know. The internet is in collective shock that authenticity is alive and well in this corner of the YouTube meta space. Do not watch if you are easily offended.
Indeed, I do occasionally use adulty words. So if you are in a situation where you've got children listening, just bear that in mind. I don't tend to say the F-bomb too much, but I have been known to use it. Anyway, all of that being said, it's time. It is time. I'm so happy to announce this. Are you ready? If you would like a free tarot reading, go ahead and put your put your question into the chat, starting with the word question. I will then grab it at random. And when do you do that? Do it now. Okay, so you've seen what you need to do. Let's have a look at the chats. Right. Oh, NJ. I don't know who you are, my darling. NJ, good evening. Welcome. I think this is the first time that you are here. I have your question up. You are the one that I have grabbed. Let me just take the banner off. There we are, my darling. So, NJ, everybody else, questions on readings on this channel normally take about 10 minutes. So, hang on in there. My advice would be select your comment and copy it. Control C, I think it is. Is that right? Yeah, Control C it. And then when I do the next round after this reading, just Control V it. NJ, your question is my dad passed away 2 years ago. Sorry to hear that, my darling. My dad's been gone nearly a decade and it's still sore, isn't it? You've not felt his presence at all in that time and that upsets you. How do I know if he's around? Okay, my darling, so that's not really a question for the tarot. But a little bit later this year, I will probably be training some mediumship sort of thing. I've been speaking to somebody about it today, actually. So I don't know, right? Is the honest answer. Is honest to God, that is the honest answer, right? How do you know if he's around? Somebody that I was reading for today, she said occasionally it feels like somebody is just touching her arm just ever so gently. She said sometimes she'll get a song and it will play on the radio in the house, and then she'll get in the car, it'll be a different station, the same song will play. She'll go into a supermarket, the same song will play. And she said it's a song or songs that quite often are connected to her dad in some way. So sometimes it comes through like that. For me, I sometimes get my mum coming through. And for me, there's one of two things I get with mum. I don't get, like, she doesn't, although I was about to say she doesn't appear to me. There was a lady at the fair today that gave me the heebie-jeebies, absolutely put the willies up me, so to speak, because she looked like my mum, like, year before she passed. Except this lady had, like, bright red pillar box hair. Apart from that, I would have sworn down if she hadn't had, if she'd had brown hair, I would have collapsed because she looked the spit from the side. It was spooky. But for me, mum comes through. It's the smell of a particular body spray that she used to have, which is Lemont by Cody. Can you just pass that pink spray there? This was actually my mum's one. Mum's been gone over 7 years now. And this spray, this Lemont by Cody, I don't know whether that's picking up. There you go. Was her spray. So occasionally I'll get this weird sniff of it. And that's how my mum has passed. So it could be that there's messages and signs like that aren't coming through. The other thing, NJ, to bear in mind is if your dad has passed, particularly if there was any illness involved, sometimes it takes a while for them to kind of recalibrate and for them to kind of just let it all go before they're able to even pop back and say hi. And it can take a little while. Apart from that, my darling, I don't really know because I don't do a lot of that type of reading at the moment. There are spiritualist churches and there are mediums and things that can help, and some of them are very, very, very good. But what I would say is that if it's still a couple of years from your dad, time works very different. I mean, for all of us, I think all of us have had a bit of a shock since COVID that time doesn't seem to be the same as it was pre-COVID. There's some wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff happening. So my understanding is that whatever happens after, whenever we pass, whatever that connection is, it takes a while in a different multiverse, if you like, space and time, for all of that to settle, my darling, okay? So don't be too upset. It might also be, and this sounds really bonkers, but it might also be that you don't need his guidance right now. And as much as you want his guidance, it's not needed. And therefore, he's happy chilling in the wherever after, doing whatever he got up to. So if he was a gardener, he's up there pruning his plants. If he was into garden bowls, lawn bowls, which is a much bigger thing than I ever thought it was. I thought it was like a little pitch, but it's actually, they're massive. If he's doing that, wherever he is, let him enjoy his game for a bit. I am absolutely sure that if you don't need him, was it Nanny McPhee, Neil? When you need me but don't want me, that's when I'll appear. But when you want me but don't need me, that's when I leave. It's something like that. That's the sort of thing that I would say, my darling. And I'm sorry that it's not a tarot, but I hope that that helped answer your question somehow. Let me have a look on the chat and see if you have commented. By the way, good evening to, who did I just see? Ed, good evening, Ed. Hello, my darling. Belinda's saying, NJ, when you go to bed, think of your dad, ask him to show you he is near, and you may just find he comes to you. Absolutely. That's a good trick as well. There's also, if you've got anything of his, like we've got Mum's ashes with us still, and on her birthday, which is actually next week, I will be buying a bunch of flowers, which is specifically freesias for Mum, putting them next to the ashes, and I'll be having a conversation, which I normally do anyway, Mum, and I'll be having a conversation. And what's happened in previous years, and I'm not going to say it's going to happen this year, but what's happened in previous years is a few days or a couple of weeks later, I'll be doing something, and it will be as if Rufus has come in here and sprayed the body spray. I'll just get this, and it's just for like a passing second. It would just be this, oh, that's Mum. And that's, for me, that's how they make themselves known. At the moment, I am investigating this a little bit deeper this year. So hopefully, if you subscribe to the channel and all of that, then I will document my journey with this. And if any of that comes up, and if I start doing more mediumship sort of readings, then do please check in back then. But anyway, thank you very much for your question. I know that probably didn't help, but I hope it helped a little bit. Shivani, hi Lisa. Hi Shivani, my darling. I hope you are well as well. Ed's listening on the drive home. Oh, be careful. Be careful, Ed. We don't want you to crash, my darling. Be very, very careful. Right then, let's go to another tarot reading. Don't forget, if you would like to ask a question, please put your question into the live chat, starting with the word question, and then I will be able to get to that for you. We're going to go ahead and put another round on right now. If you've already asked your question, please pop it back in the chat, because literally once it goes up, I'm streaming on StreamYard, and once it passes a certain way, it's difficult to get back to the chat question. So if you would like a reading, go ahead and pop it in the chat right now. Okay, let me have a look at the chat. Who is this? Oh, hang on. I've just got a blue screen. Belinda, question. Oh, hi, Belinda, my darling. Will we continue to enjoy weekends away in the camper van? I will certainly see what the dragons have to say. They've had a workout this weekend. I'm telling you, my dragons have been flying backwards and forwards. Tank's been away helping somebody's mum. Wispy has been with me, although Wispy has also been a little bit weird this weekend. I'm still on the wrong camera. I keep forgetting. Gosh, right. Okay, let me change cameras. There you go. Card cam should be up. Please be working, card cam. Please be working, card cam. Where are you? Card cam. Do we not have card cam? What is going on? Bear with. Let me change the buttons. Oh, hello. Is anything working? No. Oh, hang on. I've got there we go. I had a spinny clock of doom then, buffering clock of doom. Right, let me just try and change that over again. Here we go. Hello, sorry I've frozen. Sorry, Patricia. Right, it looks like the card cam is completely malfunctioning. Yeah, it's no longer available for me to do. Oh, wow. Pants is all I can say to that. I told you it's wobbly energy tonight. We're just going to roll with it, though. We are just going to roll with it. So, okay, my darling, who was I reading for? Belinda. Absolutely. Right then, Belinda. let me have a look. Here we go. So, Wispy. There we go. Belinda would like a reading. Hopefully everybody's going to be okay with me just showing you the cards. Belinda would like to know, will we continue to enjoy weekends away in the camper van? That's what we want, Wispy. That's what we want for Belinda. Will we enjoy weekends away with the camper van? Let me just have a quick look. Right. There we go. We've had a card drop. You've got the Five of Pentacles that has dropped. Right. Pentacles is normally career, work, finances, but it can be effort. But the 5 is change. I don't know whether you can see that. Can you see that? Right. I'm going to try and turn down this light even more, because without card cam, it's going to get very difficult to see. There we go. So yeah, the 5s are talking about periods of change. Pentacles is the card that's normally related to your finances. So if there is an issue here with money, be prepared, or with work, like holiday time, just be prepared for there to be a bit of changes. That's your clarifying card. I'm going to do your drop once, as everybody knows, once Wispy chucks a card out, that's when we do the drop. So we'll do the drop, and then 1, 2, and 3. Wow. Okay, right. You've got 2 8s and another 5. So there's 2 8s and a 5 and 2 5s coming up. So first of all, we've got the 8 of Swords. This is in your immediate past. Swords is trouble and strife. So this is saying to me, in a lot of decks, the 8 of Swords is represented by somebody with a blindfold on. So this is representing the fact that like something is being revealed to you recently. Now, if the reason you're asking the question is because there is a change in finances going on, then just be careful, be aware of that, my darling, because it could well be that there is going to be some change in terms of your ability to take that time, whether that's that you are going to have a difficult financial situation or more draws on your finances, if that makes sense, or whether there's going to be a shift in the amount of money coming in. I'm not sure, but there is definitely a change due. In the present position, we've got the second 8, which is the 8 of Cups, which is reversed. Now, Cups is about the emotions, so I don't think this is something that you are going to be, and because it's reversed, it's not something that you're going to be able to go, it's fine. It's not something like that. It feels like it's something where it's going to make a shift. It's going to make a change, if that makes sense. And there's going to be a bit of searching going on, because again, most tarot decks have the 8 as a 5 on the bottom, 3 on the top, and it's like there's 1 missing, and you've got the figure walking away. In this deck, if I show you the card, if I show you it upright, there you go. So in this deck, the cups themselves are catching a leak. So they're catching raindrops, but the door is open, and it's about searching for the next piece of that puzzle. Because this is reversed, my darling, I think there's going to be a little bit of change in terms of going away every weekend, but I think you'll be going away sporadically. And I think the difficulty will be in finding the money, finding the work holiday time, finding that time to get away. It will still happen, but in a different context. And then we've got in the immediate, I say immediate, it's like the short-term future is where your other 5 comes in. And this is the 5 of Cups, okay? And again, Cups is the emotion suit, similar to the 8, and the 5 is change. So you've got, out of 78 cards, you've got 2 8s and 2 5s. So if either of those numbers are important to you, like the 5th or the 8th of something, then that's something to bear in mind. But also the pattern that you've got an 8 upright and an 8 reversed, a 5 upright and a 5 reversed. So there is a lot of changeability involved, okay? The 5 of Cups is that emotional change. And again, this is reversed. So it almost feels like if you only are managing to get away maybe once over the summer months, as opposed to 3 or 4 times, that once over the summer months, make the most of it, because it's going to feel like, do you know what? This is crap. Like, I want to be like, normally we're here every weekend or every other weekend or twice a month, whatever it is. We're normally here a lot. And actually, this is our one chance. And it's a case of use that time as much as you possibly can, because there may not be a lot more opportunities this summer. I don't know about further into, you know, years to come and all of that, because as you all know, I only tend to read quite close. But yeah, I think the short answer, too long didn't read answer without me waffling, is literally yes, there will be at least one more weekend away this summer. Maybe not as much as you would like, and maybe you're going to have to juggle other things to make that happen. I hope that makes sense, my darling. I really, really do. But there you go. That is your 4-card reading. And yeah, I hope that helps. Thank you very much for your question, Belinda, my darling. And as always, I wish you the best with it. I would love a camper van. Let me know in the chat, right? Is it one? I tell you what, I didn't even put the comments back on. Let me have a look at your comments. Oh, Wolf Boyo's here. Good evening, Wolf Boyo. Oh, you just come back, Lisa. Hopefully you heard that, Belinda, my darling. But yeah, I think financially very stable, but availability of holidays. You go away every other weekend. You've done 7 already. Just be aware then, this finding time, finding availability is going to be an issue. That is going to be the main sticking point. It's yeah, enjoy it while you can, put it that way. Okay, I hope that helps, my darling. I really do. But what I was going to say is, put in the comments, is it, to my head, right, whenever I think of camper van, I think of one of those 1970s sort of, I was about to say Scooby-Doo, but that isn't my first thought. My first thought is Texas Chainsaw Massacre, camper van, with like in the browns and all of that. Is it one of those ones, or is it like a modern one that's like a hotel room on wheels? Because I kind of would like the outside to look like an old camper van, but I want the inside to be a hotel on wheels. You know what I mean? I do not want to be pooing into a plastic bag hanging off the back of it. That is not me. Oh no, if I'm going camping, I'm going glamping. You know what I mean? That is what I want. Anyway, it's a VW Transporter. Is that the old ones? Is that the old like 70s surfer van? Oh no, it's a new one. Oh, I got all excited. Did you see me get excited? I was about to say, next time you're driving, pop along to bloody Yorkshire, come and see us in Leeds, and I'll borrow it. Can't drive, so it might not go very far, but oh no, that is very cool. If I had the funds, I would definitely get one of those. Anyway, my darling, I hope that helped. Enjoy it. Listen, enjoy it. If this is the, you know, if the rest of the summer gets a little bit complicated with some unforeseen issues, enjoy it while you can and make the most of it. It's a new one. I'm so glad it's a new one. No pooping into carrier bags off the back of it then for you. Anyway, thanks, my darling. I hope that helps. Joe Gareth Jones is here. Hello, my friend. Long time no see. I hope you are well. How are we all doing? I am doing pretty okay, actually. Pretty okay. Yeah, thanks. Doing okay. Wasn't sure that I would be. I've just done 2 days at a psychic fair. Wasn't sure that I would be. Actually doing okay. Patricia says, Patricia for one is good, and Lisa, Neil, and Ed and Ireland are all in great spirits. Yeah, do you know what? I really enjoyed the Beyond Authentic Mod Squad meet and greet. That was really nice. And that for me is worth all the cost that the event did. Like, whether I make the money back or not, I thoroughly enjoyed having everybody there and having that photo. Oh, I was going to try and see the photo, wasn't I? Let me see if I can get that. By the way, while I do that, everybody, while I go and search for that picture, do please put your comments into the live chat. How do I download my own photo? Oh yeah, like that. Put your comments into, no, not your comment, put your questions into, shall I just start this whole stream again? Right, go ahead. Hang on, I've got a window. Hopefully, can you all still see? Am I still live? Hopefully I am. Yes, I am. Go ahead and put your question into the live chat, starting with the word question, and I will pull up the photo of the mods and myself at this event. So yeah, go and do that now. We are opening another round. The banner is going. Get your questions in, start with the word question, and we'll see you in 20 seconds. I'm still getting it, everyone. I'm still getting the photo up. It's loading now. It's loading now. It's loading now. While it does, I don't know if I do. I tell you what, just to be on the safe side, go ahead and put your question in. If you haven't done already, I'm going to give you another 10 seconds. It will give it time to do it. Right, do it now. We have a super strong connection here. Right. Oh my God! Right then, do you want to see this photo? How can I share it? Hang on. I've added it to my background. Oh, I know what to do. Are you ready? Are you ready? If I put that on there now, look, I have to disappear for a second, but you're going to see the photo. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. That didn't work at all. I've got no head and there's people missing. Right, let me sort that photo out. I'll do it in a second. You can tell this wasn't planned. I'll do that in a bit. Meanwhile, let's go on to the chat and I'll have a look at, let me turn that banner off. I will have a look at who I'm reading for. Who's this? This is, oh, come on, click on it, Lise. Who's this? This is Joe Gareth Jones. Oh my God. Right. Hello. Is there happiness in my near future? I'm telling you, I hope so. Let me have a look. Right. What I was about to say is I'm telling you, I am struggling to read this text on the laptop. I changed something. By the way, everybody, if you don't know, if you haven't seen him already, Necro Neil, who's normally in the chat, is in the chat, but he's actually sat next to me. So if I keep looking over, that's the reason why. It's like, hello, look at this hand. Well, that's spooky. It's just a hand. You like Thing from the Addams Family now.
Yes.
We start calling you Thing on streams. That'd be good. Yeah, I've changed. I'm gonna have to get him to have a look at it because I've changed something on the thing and the text is too small. But anyway, right, Joe Gareth, let's have a look. Is there happiness in my near future? Hopefully, my darling, the lack of card count isn't going to be an issue. But let's go for a cleansing ding dong and let me have a look. Right then, Wispy, what we would like, Joe Gareth Jones would like to know, is there happiness in their near future? So that's what we're looking for. How are you looking for happiness, my darling? Is it relationship wise? Is it sort of, you know, what is that? Because happiness is a bit amorphous, isn't it? So is there an area particularly that you're wanting that? I'll keep the chat up before I turn it off just to see if there's an answer. Oh, we've had 2 cards, flip and stick. So in that case, you've got 2 clarifying cards. The first card that's dropped is the High Priestess. Now, the High Priestess is quite a spiritual card. It can sometimes be talking about like being quite authoritative and being quite high up in a position of authority, but it's also a little bit about liminality and standing in between spaces and being comfortable with that. So it depends on how you feel about being slightly other, mostly relationship, but anything else you can give me. Okay, my darling. Right, let me just turn the chat off so that I don't lose my, hang on, how do I do that? There we go. So I don't lose my focus. Yep. So the High Priestess is very much talking about, there is a bit of learning to do with the High Priestess, and there is a little bit of, she's very spiritual, very connected, very deep, very not religious, but faithful, full of faith. Does that make sense? So it doesn't have to be like that you are, you know, going to be a nun, you're not in nun school or whatever that is, but it may well be that you meditate every day, you manifest, that you do all of those sort of things for spirituality. The other card you've got coming up as a clarifier is the 5 of Wands. Now, 5s, as I think I said earlier, I'm getting confused from all the readings I've done today, but the 5 of Wands is about change. Wands is your sense of self, your sense of self-esteem and confidence. And again, that 5 is talking about change. Okay, so there's a little bit of insecurity, a little bit of instability happening. Right, I'm going to pull your cards. As you all know, once Wispy twists a card and chucks a card at me, that's when I do your drop. Oh, my darling. Right. What the heck has gone on? What has gone on recently? Joe Gareth, right. We've got the Tower in your recent. So this is recent past. Talk about bloody change. This Five of Wands, the Tower is all about the rug being pulled from under you. Now, quite often that has to happen. Quite often it's like the house that you've built hasn't got planning permission, is built without the right foundations, the electrics are buggered, the pipework is buggered, it's been made with secondhand concrete that isn't able to stand up to anything, but you're living in there and everything's fine for you to deal with at the moment. And then all of a sudden that house gets knocked down and you've got to rebuild. So it's a really interesting card, the Tower, because it's kind of like you've built your house, it's still standing, everything's kind of okay, but then it's got to be knocked down for the greater good. But out of that will come the greater good, and you'll get an improvement. You'll get it's like a cycle refresh. I was saying to somebody today that a similar card to this, it's like when you've got a forest and it's overgrown and nothing's growing anymore because the canopies of the trees is blocking all the sunlight. What they do with that forest is to burn it. And it's completely indicative, or whatever the word is, because you literally set fire to the forest, you burn it all down in a controlled fire. It gets rid of all of the brush, all of the medium high branches that are the ones with all the trees. You lose a lot of the leaves, and all of a sudden you've got a brand new area of land, and all of the seeds and all of the plants that have been trying to get through and get to the sun all start coming up. And yeah, it's not great while the forest fire is happening, the controlled forest fire, but once it's done, it improves the life of the forest. It refreshes and resets. And that's kind of what the Tower card is. It's saying that this is a reset moment that's gone on recently, and it's going to feel like shit, to be honest. It's going to feel like shit. It's going to feel like, oh my God, is it Stuart Little where they say the sky is falling? It's going to be that, right? But you will get through it. Hang on, sorry, I've got a bit of something stuck in my teeth there. The reason I'm saying it's going to feel shit at the moment as well is because you've got the Seven of Swords in your current position, right? So this is what's going on currently. And Swords is the Trouble and Strife card, as I always talk about. But it's also talking about, the Seven is talking about things not being 100% complete and feeling like the jigsaw puzzle isn't complete and almost getting to the end. You know, if you've ever bought a jigsaw from a charity shop, right, there is this moment where everything's complete and you kind of, well, not every time, but the picture's almost complete and you've just got like the face to complete, and you found an ear and a nose, and then you look down and there's no more pieces, and you're missing the mouth and the other eye, and you're like, oh, and there's not quite all the pieces. And the Sevens for me are very much like that. It's like on this deck, if you can see it, the magpie, there's a lovely nest with swords in, or knives in this case, but the magpie has been taking the shinies. Now there's an element of, is the magpie taking the shinies and giving them to you, or is he taking the shinies away from the nest? And that's a bit of a concern. And it's literally saying, look, currently your jigsaw's missing a couple of pieces, but you know what, that's okay. That is actually okay, because it means you've completed what you could complete of that particular jigsaw, and now you are free to move on. Yes, it's not complete, and that for some people is an absolute like deal breaker. For some people, whilst that jigsaw isn't complete, like it's a nightmare. For others, you go, I've done all I can, and now I move on. And I think when we're talking about that in terms of the two clarifying cards, the High Priestess is kind of accepting and like learning that element of sometimes, like, why are there? Oh, this was a question. Why are there 8 hot dogs in a hot dog tin and 6 hot dog buns in a hot dog bun packet? And this was a quandary, and it was this thing, and the answer is because there is. There shouldn't be, because you're either left with 2 hot dogs or you're left with 4 buns extra because you've got to buy 2 packets. So none of it makes any sense. But the answer is simply because that's how it comes. And that is just teaching that level of acceptance that the High Priestess is bringing, particularly because of your near future, my darling. I do think there is some change, and I do think there is some... Now, that change could be positive. If you're currently in a place where it's looking a bit shit, the change is going to bring positivity. If you're currently in a place where everything is, we're wonderful and everything's grand, then the change could be a little bit more sort of problematic. There could be some more hurdles to come, and that's because we've got the 5 of Cups reversed in the immediate future. Okay, so this is talking about, again, you heard me say it with the 5 of Wands that came up. This is about change and things shifting. Now, although this is reversed, it means that shift is being done external to you. So for me, the reversals quite often are, this is an external thing that's shifting. It's not something that I can necessarily control. So in this case, with the 5 coming up, it's like whatever is due to come next, just go with it and it will come good. It will come good. I hope that helps, my darling. I really do. Let me just go back into the chat and see what you've said. La la la. Oh, everybody's talking about the photo, but yeah. So there's nothing necessarily that's relationship based here. The cups could be. So if I don't know whether you're in a relationship or whether there's, you're looking for a new relationship, whatever that situation is where you are now, this change, it's the emotional change, that instability and that shift is happening. When some people talk about Mercury retrograde, it's like that is happening now, if that makes sense. So yeah, I hope that helps, my darling. There is going to be a shift. If it's going from positive, from a more neutral to a positive place, take that. If you're currently in a really positive, everything's wonderful and happy, you may well be getting some more neutral energy coming your way in that relationship. But whichever way it is for you, my darling, it's not something that's going to last forever, because the overriding thing here is this is the High Priestess coming in and basically going, right, we just need to learn a quick little tool, learn to live with it, learn to manifest it, learn to kind of accept it as it is and move forward that way. I hope that helps. I'm really, really sorry, everyone, that this blooming card cam has failed. I'm going to try in a second. I'm going to try and play a video, and I'm going to try and get this card cam working again. So just bear with me. But Joe Gareth Jones, thank you very much for your question. And yeah, I really hope that helped. Right then, let me entertain you. No. This is because I've had too much coffee and I need some more caffeine. You're too independent for your own good. Probably. That is something sometimes. Listen, sometimes being Beyonce is great, but even Beyonce needed a Jay-Z in her life. You know what I mean? If you know, you know. That makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Right, let me have a little look. See, I'm going to very quickly pop on. Hang on, have I got a thing? Yeah, I'm going to pop on a thing. I will be back in like probably about 35 seconds. Let me just try and reset this cam. I'll be back very shortly. What I'm going to do is play 2 quick videos about 2 amazing friends. Both of them are moderators. You know this by now. I can totally 100% recommend that none of this is sponsored, but I can totally recommend both of these ventures, and they're both available on Etsy. So if you want to check them out, please do. And I'll sort the camera out. Fingers crossed.
Are you a fan of 80s horror but want something different? Do you like modern horror but the regular magazines leave you a bit cold? Are you a fan of that schlocky horror that no one else seems to talk about? Check out Necronomicon, the UK horror zine from Etsy.com. Just search for Necroneil.
It doesn't look like it's resetting. Hang on a second. I've got webcam on the list. We have webcam. We have card cam. Oh my Lord. Card cam is back. Yay. That's so cool. Right. Okay. I'm going to click off it. There we go. We have card cam. Yay. Oh, that makes me so happy. That makes me so happy. I know, right? Small things make me happy. But anyway, just ask my ex-boyfriend. Anyway. Gosh, I shouldn't say things like that when my husband's in the other room. But anyway, never mind. Let me have a quick look here because it just made a wibbly wobbly noise. Yeah, we're still good. Right then, let me have a look at who is in the chat. Who's popped a question in? Oh, nobody. Did I not say put a question in? Oh, I'm so sorry. Right, go ahead and pop your questions in, everybody. I'm so sorry. Pop your question in if you would like, my darling. Pop your question into the chat if you would like a reading. All you need to do is put the word question followed by your question. That's what I meant to say. Sorry about that. I'll put the banner back on. This is how you do it. If you haven't been here before and you're new to the channel, ask a question now.
Are you a fan?
Press the wrong button. Hello to Kathy, by the way. If you don't know Kathy, it's Mrs. Neil. Or I think technically Neil is Mr. Kathy. Is that? Yeah, you've got to say that. Yeah, all husbands have to say that. Rufus is trained to say that. So yeah, that's about the right way around. But hello, my darling. I hope you are well. Nice to see you. Wow. Metaphorically. Anyway, let's have a look in that chat. Dharma Rainbow. Hello, Dharma Rainbow. How are you, my darling? Your question is, I have just become, I can't read, hang on. I have just become self-employed. Will my business be successful? Let's ask Card Cam. Right, listen, if you're watching this, right, I need you all to cross your fingers because it keeps bleeping on me. So we're going to manifest this, right? On money, pardon I'm manifesting Card Cam. Let me have a look and see. Is it still there? Yes, it is. Are we going? Yay, it is working. Oh gosh, it kept going bong as if it was disconnecting itself. There we go. Right then. So Wispy. Dharma Rainbow, which I love your name, by the way. That is a wonderful name. Dharma Rainbow, I have just become self-employed. So Wispy, Dharma would like to know, they've just become self-employed. Will the business be successful? What's the business, Dharma? It's got nothing to do with the cards. I'm just nosy. We love small business people. What was it we saw at the event, Neil? Was it soulpreneur? Yes. Like entrepreneur, but with the word soul in the front. I thought that was really cool, actually. I don't think I could be a soulpreneur because I'm too gobby, but I could probably be a gobbypreneur. Gobbypreneur? I don't think that rolls off the tongue, does it? Anyway, Wispy, Dharma Rainbow would like to know, they've just become self-employed. What will their business be successful? Okay, my darling. We've had no card jump. So there's no clarifying card for you, which basically means the cards are going to give it to you straight. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's do your drop. Oh, okay. We've got a second little drop there. Look at that. Right. We have in the past position, the 9 of Swords. In the present, we've got the King of Swords. But in the future, oh, the Queen of Pentacles. Right. Okay. Do you want the quick answer, Dharma? The quick answer is yay. It looks like it. Right. In the immediate past, the 9 of Swords. Swords is the Trouble and Strife deck. I can't pick the card. Look, I've had my nails done. They're gorgeous, but I can't pick cards up very easy. It's a bit of an issue when you're reading. Anyway, the 9 of Swords in the past position. Now, this is talking about, hang on a second. I've just seen what you've just put in the chat. Colourful handmade gifts, wall art and prints. Oh, you'll have to send it. Oh, you can't pop the link in. Put what the is, if it's on Etsy or somewhere, put what the shop is without doing the @ sign, and then we'll oh, I've lost it now. Hang on, I've lost the thing, I've lost the plot. There we go. Pop it in the chat, Dharma. It won't let you put a link, but like leave the @ out or the .co.uk, whatever it is, and just pop that in the link if you want to. We love supporting small businesses. So anyway, the 9 of Swords is talking about a lot of trouble in the recent past. Okay, so this will be the teething problems, setting it up, all of that. It's talking about, so for me, 9s are like the deck is full. You know what I mean? It's like you're full of swords. Yes, the 10 is higher, and then you've got the court cards, but the 9 is kind of, this is the most that you could handle. The 10 of Swords would have been too much to handle. It's like overflow. And this is reversed, which means I think that you had issues setting this up that you were not prepared for. I think there were major, and the argument would be, well, Lisa, everybody does when they have a new business. But no, this isn't like a little issue. It's almost like you were painting stuff and it was the wrong paint and it peeled off, or you were, you ordered stuff from China and it got stuck in customs for 6 months. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong, but you've got through it, because Swords is that obstacle, that challenge, right? So I don't believe the universe will ever give us more than we can take. Yes, it might bend us. Yes, it might try us. But actually, I think that you can overcome this, if that makes sense. And I think you have done. But what you'll find is like that learning curve, especially when you're starting a new business, is really difficult. So like the fact that it's if you're already in business, the fact that you've got to that point in itself is a major, major achievement. Particularly because in the present, we've got the King of Swords. Now, right, hang on, I'm going to take this off because it's irritating me. I keep knocking it on the desk. So normally Swords is a challenge and Swords is an obstacle. But as a reversal, it's literally saying that, look, somebody, let me show you upright. Somebody around you that you've had that maybe has been giving you advice or support or something like that, somebody is almost gone. It's not that they're trying to put the kibosh on it, but they're kind of a little bit in two minds, right? And it's almost like, Dharma, that somebody's been saying, well, maybe you should just go and have a backup plan and go and work in that office job, filing accounts and, doing that because it's boring, but at least it will be a bit of security. And you're like, no, that will drive me up the wall. This is what I want to do. And it's like somebody's going, well, listen, it's your best interest at heart. And I'm only thinking of you, but that obstacle, that voice, listen to it, but don't let it stop you. Okay. So whatever that is, whatever's going on, it could even be like part of your own voice in your head going, do I need a backup plan? Do I need to should I still be working? Should I still be doing that? Do I need to go in? Listen, there is always ways of making more money if you have to, right? Even if that is chucking loaves of bread down a conveyor belt, down the belt at Asda, right? That's a perfectly fine job to go and do if you need to. Or, packing. When I first moved to Leeds, my job was moving 25 kilogram bags of popcorn kernels from a pallet inside a lorry to a pallet next to a lorry. I'd pick it up, I'd put it down. I'd pick it up, I'd put it down. That was my job. It was horrible. It was smelly. It was backbreaking, but it was money, right? There are always ways that you can earn more money later on if you need to. So having this as a backup, yes, it's interesting. Yes, it's important to have a safety net, but don't let that stop you, my darling, because this is the one that I got excited about, right? This is the Queen of Pentacles. So Pentacles is your work, career, finances card. And the Queen is bloody wonderful. The nearest thing that this deck has to this card in terms of finances would be the Empress. Okay. So the Empress is about nurturing energy, warmth, family, but it's also about abundance, because the Empress has that energy of, she's got the wheat in the picture, which is why I love it. This is kind of like if you took away the family element, this is what the Empress would give you in terms of abundance. So the Queen of Pentacles, it could relate to a person that is older than you, that may well come with sort of feminine energy. So it could be like a mother, an aunt, something like that, or a business partner even. Or it could simply be, if you identify as female, it could be that this is like, look, this is your growth into the Beyonce of handmade gifts and art prints. Do you know what I mean? Because this represents growth. So this deck talks about the pentacles as being very grounded earth energy. So this plant is growing and thriving. This plant, which looks like something I used to have, but I can't remember what the name of it is. Maybe somebody can tell me in the chat. It's not a rubber plant, or is it a rubber plant? I don't know. But anyway, if somebody knows what this plant is supposed to be, let me know. But look, this one is thriving. There's even a rabbit, and we know what rabbits are good at. We know what rabbits do. If you put 2 rabbits together, you know you're going to end up with 250 rabbits before you can even think of it. So this is about multiplying. And the little coin here, that pentacle, is about growth, money, money, money. This is you watering it and nurturing it. And I don't know whether you can see, but this person's holding a brand new seed. So this plant is growing. This is the future. This is what you've done. This is what you've done. You've nurtured these plants. And this here is the future with the multiplying bunnies. So I do not think that your business, look, I don't think you're going to open up a shop tomorrow and you're going to be inundated and sold out in the first day, but it's positive. In the near future, it's going to start increasing. It should, fingers crossed, it should be, whether it's hugely successful, and what success means for you is slightly different, but it should be a good thing for you in terms of finances. Oh, excuse me. I hope that helps, my darling. Oh, 1 second. Sorry, I had to mute the mic then. I hope that helps, my darling. I really do. As I say, go ahead and let us know in the chat, like, what your business name is. But yeah. Oh, it's a Monstera. Is that a good plant, Holland? Is that a good plant? I don't know what that is. I think I'm sure I've owned, whatever that looks like, I've owned one. So yeah. But in terms of where it's going, Dharma, like, hang on in there. There's some hurdles that you're going to get through, some obstacles, which happens in every business. But yeah, I think you've got a good, successful run ahead of you. I really do. And with that, my darling, I hope that helps. Thank you ever so much for your question. Let us know. Please put it in the chat if you can, like, what the business is and where you're based, because I'm all about supporting new businesses and small ventures. I bought the earrings today from the fair. There was all sorts of cheese plants. Yes, it is. Thank you. What did I say? I said rubber plant. I meant cheese plant. Yes, it's a cheese plant. Thank you. That's exactly what it is. Yes. I bought these earrings off a stall today from it's a 2-girl run business. And well, that sounds crap, doesn't it? It's a woman-owned business, right? Two women were there. They've got a little shop in Armley, and I was like, lots of other crystal shops, lots of lovely earrings, and I was like, don't really want that. And I was talking to these girls, and I was like, look, it's not been a hugely financially successful event for me, but I want some earrings. And I said, I want some wires or some hoops because I've got an ear tunnel. She said, oh, I haven't got any of those. And I went, well, what's this? And she went, oh, I thought I'd sold out. And I was like, no. I said, oh, that's that amethyst. She went, yeah. I was like, perfect. Purple is my color. It's my color on my channel. It's what all my banners are. I was like, that has been made for me. And she went, I made those last night. And I was like, well, there you go. Perfect. So there you go. So I was very happy to pay full price for my earrings, and I absolutely love them. So I'm all about small business support, because Amazon's good, but let's support the small businesses where we can. By the way, talking about that, there is a video I'm going to be filming in the next few days. I'm going to be doing a giveaway on my channel, okay? Because we got to 1,000 subscribers a little while ago, and I was going to do a giveaway, and I put it off because we got to 1,000, then it was 990. Then it got to 1,000, then it was 987 at one point. I was like, right. So we're now past 1,000. I've got a couple of issues of Necronomicon to give away, which is the zine that my friend Neil runs, who's sat next to us here, one of the moderators. And I got a couple of bits from Holland at Blue Chalice, specifically for the giveaway. I've got a few other bits that I have been putting to one side. So there are going to be bits from both of those wonderful small businesses, and a few bits and pieces that have come from me, a couple of bits from Witch Casket things. All of that will be coming up on a video. It will be on my main video section on the channel. So if you aren't aware, click that subscribe button and ding your bell to get notified when that goes up. Okay, when I say ding your bell, I mean ding your bell. And so yeah, that'll be coming up soon. So if you want to take part of that, it'll be on the video. Let me just have a little look. See, I think I saw Dharma. Oh, no problem, my darling. I hope it helps, Dharma. I really, really, really do. Oh, and some spare books. Yes, Patricia's given us a couple of books as well, which I will include in the giveaway. Actually, Patricia, thank you. That's a lovely thought. Thank you, my darling. So yes, right then, it's time. Shall we have another? I'm really interested though, Dharma, what your colourful handmade gifts and wall art is. I am really interested. Put the link in the chat if you can do, my darling. Right. Let's go ahead and open up another round. Don't forget, you should know what to do by now. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You have to be subscribed for 5 minutes before you can chat on the channel. But go ahead, put your question into the live chat. Start it with the word question, and I will do the next reading in about 30 seconds time or something like that. Right then, let me have a look in that there chat. Was that enough time? I don't know that it was. Let me have a look. Hang on. Right. I've got Flower Beauty. Have I just pressed that? Is that up? Flower Beauty, my darling. Should I just move the microphone out of the way? That will actually help. Neil will tell you. Neil, just come here a second. Come here a second, right? Without breaking the fourth wall too much, where they can't see in the room, what would you describe it as in one word?
2 would be Mr. Trebus.
What's that?
If you know, you know.
What's Mr. Trebus? What's Mr. Trebus? No, you can't tell me that. I can't Google because the system's temperamental. Who's Mr. Trebus? You can't do that to me.
There was a program called Hoarders.
Are you saying I'm a hoarder? I mean, you could call me a whore back in the day, but a hoarder? I'm not a hoarder. Everything I own has a very good purpose. I just don't know what it is yet, and it might be useful at some point for someone.
I'm joking. It's very, very nicely organized.
Oh, shut up.
Everything has its place.
No, it hasn't. It is chaotic. I thought you were going to say chaos or like
that's what you
bonkers or something. Yeah. Who the hell is Mr. Trebus? I don't know who that is. I don't know who even that is. Anyway, Flower Beauty, my darling. Right. Last time, do you know what? I was like, it'll be fun. You could be here and we can interact. Thanks, Mr. Trebus. You know, I'm going to Google that straight after this. Yes. And if it's not good, you know, bear in mind, I'm doing your dinner tonight.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Oh, I know, right? Your beans will taste very funny, and I won't tell you why. Anyway, Flower Beauty. By the way, everybody, if you want to see more me and Neil interacting, have a little look-see on the list. There's a podcast on the main channel. There is a podcast section now. Me and Neil have been doing a podcast for over a year, innit? It's way over a year. So there's lots of chatty stuff to talk about. So go and have a look at that. Go and check that out if you want. There's lots of witchy stuff on there. Anyway, Flower Beauty. Sorry, my darling. I thought that was. Do you know what? It's a good job he's a friend of like over 20 years, isn't it? It's a good job. It's a good job. Only your mates can take the piss like that. Who's Mr. Trebus? I will find out who that is. And
don't worry, you don't look like him or anything.
Oh, now you got me. Now you're saying even more. I hope you can all hear what he's saying to me. He's saying, Trebus. I don't look like this Trebus person. Dharma's put ha-ha-ha's in the chat, so somebody knows who they are.
Knows.
Exactly. Question. Let me just have a look, my darling. Your work contract, hang on. Is Neil my husband? No, Neil is a very good friend of mine that I have known for over 20 years. A, we're not each other's type. B, we're too bloody close. He's like my younger brother. He's literally, that is the energy, isn't it? He is like my younger brother. So occasionally there'll be a, but no, like that, whoever Trebus is, I'm going to find out. But I would like, you've been known to like pull me out of a funk in the time, and I've pulled you out of funk. Like, It's that he's my brother. You know what I mean? No, my other half is very, very different. Hang on. Patricia just Googled it and it brought up an advert from long ago. Thanks. That helps. Anyway, right. Flower Beauty, my darling. Sorry, I'm getting to your question now. Dragons, back to some decorum, please.
Banish the chaos.
Yes, banish the energy, treeless energy. I don't know who that is. I will find out. There we go. So, Dragons, Flower Beauty wants to know, Wispy, my darling, Flower Beauty wants to know. In fact, do you know what I haven't done tonight? I haven't played Wispy's music. No wonder he's a bit upset with me. There we go. Your work contract is over in August. What should I do to get more work ASAP? And when will I get it? You need guidance. Okay, my darling, we'll see what we can do for you. Again, don't forget you do make all your own decisions about your own life. Tarot is for only entertainment purposes only, and for guidance and all of that lovely stuff. There we go. Card cam is up and working. Look, it's so much better when there's a camera. That sounds wrong, but you know what I mean. Right. Why is it crooked? Why is it crooked? There we go. There we go. Right. So then, Wispy, Flower Beauty wants to know their work. Nobody saw it, it's fine. Their work contract is over in August. What does Flower Beauty need to do to either get more work as soon as possible, and when will it come through? That's what they need to know, my darlings. They need to know some guidance. So Wispy, what guidance can you offer? You've been very good today, my friend. You've worked very hard. After tonight, we'll take a break. And we've got a lovely new dragon box for you to live in tonight and have a lovely snooze. But we need to know for Flower Beauty. Let's have a look, my darling. Let's have a look. Oh, we're getting some double drops tonight. That's interesting. So for those of you that don't know, what I call a drop is when the cards cut, and then a double drop is when they fall twice. And that can sometimes mean that the cards are a little bit unsure. So we'll just bear that in mind. Interesting. Right. Flower Beauty. We've got a major arcana on board, but let's have a look. So what I'm going to do is it's a little bit different. We're going to do your situation, your obstacle, and what you need to do to overcome. Okay. So your situation, 5 of Swords. And by the way, this is what I was thinking as I was shuffling. Normally I talk about it as I'm shuffling it, but I forgot because it's been a long day. I've been up since crack of dawn almost. Anyway, the 5 of Swords, my darling. So Swords is your trouble and strife suit. Okay, this is the challenges. Now the 5, as you heard me say earlier, is about change, and this is the current situation. So it's talking about the challenge is this change, right? So that's that contract. So this absolutely fits. Now if you look here, you can see we've got 5 kind of swords, 5 swords. And is it the banner that the medieval, like when they went to question and things, there would be their bannermen? Like, this is your line in the sand, right? Now, one of the things to bear in mind, look at this card. 3 of the swords are buried in the sand, okay? And 2 of them have just been left or just been thrown, and they haven't hit the supposed target. So this is saying that there is quite a bit of change around this. I think that when you're looking at what should you do to get more work, I think that you've just got to basically carry on, put yourself out there. And interesting, the banner is like a call to arms, literally a call to arms. And it's basically what I would interpret this as is the change is happening. This 5 is happening. There's no way around that, right? You can either be these 2 dagger things that are being thrown on the sand and aren't wanted, or you can make the most of this situation while the sun is setting, and you can try and use this to move forward, which is obviously what you're wanting with your question. I would be mindful of speaking to your current employers. Look, I know I'm ending in August. Is there any opportunities coming up? I would be putting CVs out there right now, putting them everywhere you possibly can, speaking to your employers and say, look, I'd be interested in maybe a sideways move, maybe a move over, overseas or, to another department, all of that. This challenge is talking about almost going with the flow with this uncertainty for now. Okay. Now, that's your current situation. Your obstacle, the Knight of Wands. So if I put it this way, knights are that teenage rebellious energy, that energy of you want to think first and act later. Okay, so there's a certain element here that your obstacle is kind of like you want to get all this resolved immediately. Now, that sounds really trite because of course you do. Like, you know, you still got to pay bills in August and September. So of course you need this sorting out. But the obstacle is kind of, because this is reversed, and I mean this with kindness and love in my heart, get off your bum and crack on with it, right? And I'm not saying you've been sat on your bum. I'm not saying that you haven't put the work in, but there's something that there is more that you can do in terms of selling yourself, right? Now, don't take that in the way of getting an OnlyFans account, because that's not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about, like, you have to be your own advocate when you're looking for work, right? These days, it's not enough to just write a nice CV and send it off. You've got to be doing YouTube videos and Instagrams and all of this stuff where you're like, hi, I'm Flower Beauty and I will be wonderful in your business because I can do this. And I don't mean literally doing that, but it's kind of like, that's what you need to be. You need to be really proactive, whatever your field is, whatever the area of work is, like, go and do the schmoozy thing. Now, I hate this. We'll talk about it in the podcast. I did not do this weekend at all because I really feel uncomfortable doing it. But go and speak to other people in your field of work and go and basically say, hi, I am bloody good at what I do. Now, I'm on a temporary contract right now, which is finishing, and there isn't a position for me because I'm covering maternity leave or holiday leave or sick, whatever it is that you're covering, why that's a short-term contract. And you basically say, look, the company I work for, there is no space, but I could bring this, this, and this, and this to your company. And kind of, you want to be really proactive in that, right? That is the obstacle, is at the moment you're not selling your best to your best ability. You're selling yourself and your abilities to your best ability, if that makes sense, right? There are things that you could do to promote yourself in the workplace more than you're doing. Now, that isn't saying, as I say, it's not saying that you're sitting on your bum, but it's saying that just doing things like the old school way isn't necessarily going to help. And maybe, depending on what field it is that you want to go in, maybe look at, you know, I don't know, if you manage pubs, right, then it also means, even though you might never have managed a small convenience store, there's a similarity. Like, once you're ordering pints of beer and barrels of beer and bottles of spirits, it's quite similar to take that to ordering loaves of bread and washing powder for a convenience store. So there are transferable skills. You don't realize that because you're in this particular sector, but like every job that you've got has got transferable skills. And don't just think about the position that you've got now and getting another job doing the same thing. Think about what is it you're doing right now that is transferable, because even like being personable and having good people skills, there are sales jobs. Like, we certainly had an experience recently, let me just put it this way and couch it, where somebody could have done with some interpersonal training and how to be a little bit nicer to clients, customers, and visitors, but we won't go into that right here. But no, and it's not Neil or me for once. I haven't pissed no one. Well, I probably have pissed people off, but not knowingly, right? And there's always things that you can do around things like that, right? Find the way to get that across to people. That's what I'm saying with this. And then the how you overcome it. This is what I think is going to be difficult for you, my darling. The hanged one, or the hanged man as was, the hanged one is talking about self-sacrifice and waiting for the right moment, the right time. Now, that isn't easy when you've got a clock ticking. It really isn't. But there is a certain element of bide your time, do things the right way. If you are somebody like me, right, I am telling you now, right, I could go out on sales trips and I could sell Neil's Necronomicon zine. I could sell it like to shops up and down the country because I'm passionate about it. I think it's amazing, blah, blah, blah. Could I sell my own tarot reading skills? Absolutely not. However, Neil could go and do that for me and has done recently. Thank you. But probably couldn't do the same thing with Necro. And some people just really find it really difficult to sell ourselves and go, well, actually, do you know what? And it's not like those arrogant people. We're not saying you need to be arrogant with it. But you are able to blow your own trumpet, you know, you can do that. So that would be my advice, my darling. It sounds rude, but blow your own trumpet, sing your own praises, and don't, if it takes a little while for you to be in the right place, then kind of accept that it might take a while. In the meantime, if it's just a case of getting bills paid, then take any job that's available anywhere. Like it's more important to pay the bills than it is to have a career, but don't lose track on that career. And remember that even though you might not think you're anything special in the workplace, you have skills that somebody out there right now is looking at their workforce and going, oh my God, what a bunch of dreary old muppets. I really need someone. I wish there was someone in my department that was able to do X, Y, Z. And you're sat there going, I can do X, Y, Z. All you need to do is find the right jigsaw piece for the right hole. Hopefully that makes sense. Anyway, I hope I haven't like mixed too many metaphors there. I hope you can take that, Flower Beauty, my darling. I've forgotten how to work this. It's so weird. Like reading in person for 2 days, I have forgotten how to use a computer. It is very, very odd. I'm almost like, why isn't there somebody here? It's very strange. Right, let me have a look. Flower Beauty, my darling. When will you get it? I tell you what, let me do what I've done today, right? I have been doing this all day. Now, these two decks should not work together, right? The Fifth Spirit Tarot and the Light Seers. Very different decks, very different vibes. But oh my God, have they been connecting together this weekend. So I'm going to pull from the Light Seers. So Wispy, there you go, Wispy. We want to know when. We want to know what is likely, what sort of time scale for a new job. Oh, what have we got? We got a Six of Cups. So 6 weeks, 6 months, right? I know which one you'd prefer. We've got 6 weeks, 6 months. Is the end of August? Is that 6 weeks away? Isn't it nearly? That'll be when this change is happening. Cups is emotion, so there's going to be an emotional thing there, right? We want another one for time scale. 9. Right, 6 to 9 weeks, 6 to 9 months is when that massive change will happen. Possibly start working on this 9. If this is weeks, then it could be within 3 weeks of leaving your current position. I can't guarantee that. Again, you make all your own decisions. This isn't financial advice, blah, blah, blah. But time-wise, there's a 6 and a 9 here somewhere. I mean, that's nice. But there is 6 to 9 weeks, 6 to 9 months. Now, I know that those are massively different scales, but that is what, when we're looking at a timeline, I would say the Pentacles one, the 9, that is the one that's more related to work, right? So that is going to be 9 weeks, 9 months, or the 9th month. What's the 9th month? January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. So, which would tally with 9 weeks. So actually, it could be September, my darling. It could be September. So you're looking at maybe 9 weeks, maybe September is the 9th month. It could be as long as 9 months away, but my gut is that it's not going to take you that long. But I hope, sweetheart. Thank you, Ed. Ed said, yeah, it's September. Thank you. My gut instinct is it's going to be quicker than 9 months. And obviously, from your perspective, you bloody well hope it is, isn't it? But I hope that helps, Flower Beauty, my darling. And just listen, right? Being paid for your skills, being paid for your time is honorable, right? Saying to people, do you know what? I am very good at XYZ is an honorable thing to do, right? I know that in a lot of cultures, we're not taught how to do that, and we don't like bigging ourselves up isn't a thing that we're supposed to do. But you know what? The people that do, they are the ones who believe their own hype, and they are the ones that are the multimillionaires. The rest of us, we sit there going, oh, I'm not much good, and not a lot happens. Believe in yourself. That sounds so trite, doesn't it? Like, live life, laugh. But seriously, believe in yourself and think about, if you were an employer looking at your CV or looking at you as a potential employee, what would you see shine, right? And then use that to move forward with the career. And I hope that helps, my darling. I really, really, really do. The best of luck. Like, it's a tough old world out there. The best of luck, my love, and I hope that helps. And thank you very much for your question. Oh, no, I pressed the wrong button. I really am not. I haven't even been away. It feels like I've been on holiday for a month.
Yeah, it feels like we're there for a week.
Yeah, I mean, it did. Neil was saying that at the fair, at the psychic event. He literally was saying, I feel like I've been camping out for a week. That is what it felt like. When we were packing things up, I was like, oh, it's like taking your Christmas decorations down, because it was suddenly, you know, when you take your decorations down, everything's suddenly bare. For 11 months of the year, you haven't got twinkly lights up, but for 1 month, and then when you go to take them down, you're like, oh, it all looks horrible. The difference is the lights. The norm is not to have all that crap in your house, like plastic trees that are sprayed green. I know. I actually want a black tree this year. I don't want another green one. And I definitely can't get a living tree. Not that you all need to know that anyway, but let's do another reading. Let's crack on. What time is it? Oh, it's 8:30. I was going to finish early, but you know what? I'm on a roll now. Let's just roll through till 9. Roll Tide. I don't know what that means. It's a South American thing. If anybody's here from the southern states in America, Texas, if you're watching this on replay, please put in the chat what Roll Tide is. I watch skits on YouTube Shorts, and it's about a restaurant. It's called Bistro Huddy. Recommend it. It's quite funny. And a couple there go, Roll Tide, Roll Tide. And I'm like, Roll Tide, but it's Texas, which is landlocked, so there isn't a tide, so I don't know what they're talking about. So please, someone put me out of my misery, but not like that, not yet. Anyway, let's get another reading going. So once again, if you would like a reading, go ahead and do the doodahs on the YouTube. Put your question into the chat, starting with the word question, and I will grab one of those straight after this little short video. So go ahead and do that now, and we'll open up. We'll do another reading. Again, if you've already copy and control seed, just control V in the chat. It'll be done. Let's have a look at who's put a reading. No, I'm the reading. You're the questions. Oh, do you know what? I think my brain is starting to malfunction now. It's been a long day. Right then, I am doing free readings. Oh, Hadizaj. I'm not sure how I pronounce that, but hello, good evening to you, my darling. Right, let's have a look. I've got questions. Question. If I click on, who am I clicking on? I'm clicking on that one. Oh, it's Patricia. That doesn't help. Thanks, Patricia. That one there. Who's this? Queen 707. Hello, my darling. Will I move? Do you know what? I think I need these glasses changing because they're a bit. I think I need a new prescription. Will I move into a new house in August? Okay, my darling. That's quite a simple one. That's a bit of a yes/no answer, really, isn't it? So let's have a look. Right then. Wispy, my friend. If you don't know who Wispy is one of my dragons. If you don't know what I'm talking about with dragons, there's a podcast for that. I'm going to get that made into a t-shirt, you know like they've got the things that say, I have a crystal for that. I'm going to say, I've got a podcast for that. I'm going to do it. You don't believe me? Watch this space. Right then, my darling. Will you move into a new house? I am going to pop the other camera on. Here we go. Let's get the card cam up. There we go. So then, Wispy, the lovely Queen 707. Is that a rose on fire with a tribal flame? That's really cool. You've changed your doodah, your picture thing. Right then, let's have a look. So Wispy, Queen 707 would like to know, will I move into a new house in August? Right, so there's a couple of things here, Queen 707. It could be a yes, in which case you're moving into a new house in August. It could be that August isn't going to be the month, or the new to the house isn't going to be the month. So let me just try and we'll see what happens. Right, Wispy, stop chucking 3 cards every time. We don't do that. We'll have 1 card if you want a 1 card, and we'll have the cards as normal. Thank you, Wispy. Wispy's getting tired. I'm getting tired. Everyone's getting tired. Let's go. So, roll tide. So, I could be saying that. That could be really offensive.
No, update.
What?
About Roll Tide.
Oh, a roll tide update. Hang on, Neil's on it. Go on.
Roll Tide is a multi-use catchphrase for Alabamans.
Alabamans, right? A multi-use catchphrase, yeah.
The phrase Roll Tide is used throughout the US state of Alabama as a multi-use catchphrase. Originally a chant for University of Alabama athletics teams, especially football, Roll Tide has developed into an everyday greeting and an exclamation or interjection that can fill any gap in conversation or end a meeting conversation.
Oh, it's like fuck. You know, like, yeah, sorry, I've just used the F-bomb, but you know how fuck is a good word, because you can say the fuck you are, and it means the hell you are. You can say, oh, I want to fuck, or it means like I'm going to fuck you up. And all of those different ways of saying it has got different connotations. It's like that. Oh, Roll Tide. New one on the channel, everyone. Roll Tide. Put the what's the tide emoji, the wave emoji. Stick it in the chat right now if you want us to do Roll Tide. Roll Tide. Right, Queen, let's have a look. So we've got the King of Wands, we've got the 4 of Cups, and the 9 of Wands. Right, 2 reverse, 1 upright. So new house, not that I can see. Did I do a cut? Did I cut the cards? Did I not cut the cards? I didn't cut the cards. I don't think I cut the cards. Hang on. Something's telling me I didn't. I don't think I cut the cards. I don't think this is your spread. Hold on. Sorry. If I did, then I'm doing it again because it wasn't right. Are you falling? Have you stopped? Oh, the cards are not sure. Okay, there we go. Right. Here we go. 8 of Swords. In your own time, veils being lifted. 4 Pentacles, stability. 7 of Wands. Right, these are upright. This is a little bit better. There's no, with none of the 2 lots of cards that I've just pulled, there's nothing here that is instantly saying yes or no to any of it. Right, so Wands, 7s would be July or 7 weeks. Queen, let me do something. Let me just do something a second. Let me see. I want to see. Right, Wispy, Light Seers deck. Let's see. Right, 5th Spirit is not giving me. Let's see if we can get it with this. Hang on. So, will Queen 707 move into a new house in August? That's what we want to know. Right, let's see what this does. Because, it doesn't want to do a drop. Okay. There we go. A bit more definitive. Right. Major cards. Thank you, Wispy. Right. Thank you. Major arcanas. Thank you. Right. So, Justice. upright, the wheel reversed, and the 5 of cups. So I would say I am ignoring this because I was faffing on about the other one whilst reading it, and I don't think Wispy quite understood what I was talking about, to be brutally honest. Majors, this is what we want. Right. Justice. There is going to be some legal question before this happens, right? A legal question before this happens. Justice is talking about the law. It's talking about contracts. It's talking about there being something that is going to slightly hold this up. So I don't see August, my darling, in all honesty, because we've also got the world reversed. And the world reversed, the reversal here is saying, look, the world, your world is going to change, but not quite yet. So it may well be, if you're buying a house, there's a contract, like something's going to come up in the, what is it they do? The surveyors things and all that lot. If you aren't buying a house, but you're renting, be prepared to do a rent jump. And what I mean is where you do like, you go from one house to a house temporarily for like a 3-month contract before your proper house is ready. There is something here about a delay with contracts. The world reversed. The world is basically a liminal card for me. So it's talking about jumping through that and starting the new cycle, starting the new adventure. Reason I get that from the world, by the way, is because this is the last card of the tarot of the majors, right? So there's 22 cards. The 0 card, the Fool, is the start of them. When we get as far as the world, it's like, right, that is now ending, and we're supposed to jump through this hoop, and we emerge on the other side as the Fool with a brand new journey to go on. Now, with this, it's reversed. So it's like, it's not time to jump through this yet, right? So there is something here that's going to cause a delay. So when I said to you earlier that it could be a no, because it might not be the new house, or it might not be August, there is something here around that. Absolutely. It feels like whatever this contract issue is, whatever this legal holdup is, it will come good, but it will take a little while. It could take as long as 5 months, because we've got the 5 of cups, and 5 is the emotions, but 5 is also that element of things shifting and things being out of whack. And there's a certain element here where your emotional state is going to be a little bit unstable. So this is the sort of card that I would expect if you are sort of sofa surfing for a couple of months, or, you know, you're in proper temporary accommodation, like you have to go and live in a hotel for a couple of months or something. This is that sort of thing. We're looking at, I would say it will be resolved within 5 months from now. So what is that? What are we in now? July. So August, September, October, November, December. So between now and December at the latest, this will all get sorted. Wispy, what I want is some clarification on a time scale, if we can. Clarification. So within 5 months, are we looking at the back end of 5 months? Are we looking at sort of nearer to now? Because we need to hone this down a little bit. If it's December, then we want a cool card. If it's in the summery months, no, I'll tell you what, December will do cool card. If it's like autumn, then I want an orangey card. Okay, so we want orange for autumn, so that autumnal colors. We want icy white or blue for winter. Anything else, we'll go with the numbers. Right, Wispy, you understand? I've got them on the back of my neck, which is really annoying. I was about to say, can you see him? That was such a stupid question. Can you see what he's doing? Gosh, right, let's go. We've got, autumnal. This autumn, it can come through by this autumn. When I'm looking for a clarifying card, it is reversed, which means it might be into that autumn to winter crossover. But you heard me, I was very specific. Autumn or winter. I think end of autumn, my darling, is when you will be looking at. The fact that it's a wands card, which is also about stability, and the fact that it's the 4, the 4, which is about stability, and the wands, which is about your confidence, the fact that those two go hand in hand with a move and everything being up in the air is really, really interesting. And the reversal is saying, look, you're going to have to deal with I don't know why I've got this idea of you living out of a suitcase for a couple of months, but whatever that is, it's going to pass. Late autumn, it should be resolving itself. By December, you'll be in and sorted. Late autumn, it will be starting to fix itself and sort itself out. Just be very mindful, my darling, of this justice card. Be very mindful of this legal matter. I hope that helps, sweetheart. I really, really do. Thank you very, very much for your question. Sorry, I keep forgetting. If anybody wants to QJUMP and guarantee a reading, you can go straight up here, look, to buymeacoffee.com/Beyond Authentic. The details are up there. If you do that, just drop me a little message to say that you've done it, and I will find your question in the chat here, or I might just get you to post it here. That's also where full details of the channel memberships are. So thank you very much for those of you that are choosing to support me with regular memberships. You could be a member from £3, which is about $4 if you want, without any of the membership perks. If you just want to chuck me a coffee once a month, don't do it in person. Don't chuck me a coffee. You know what I mean? Unless it's a cold brew. If you are wanting to be a member and take part in the members only live, which we didn't get to do tonight because I barely walked in the room, in the flat before it was time, then it's a £5 a month, like, to get those membership perks. So feel free to do that. And once again, I have to say thank you to Lindy Pyra, who has is the first person to take out the membership at the cappuccino level, which is the highest level. So she gets herself a full 10-card one-on-one monthly reading every single month for being at that level. So if you want to check those out, buy me. Oh, pointing in the wrong place. If you want to check, I know, right? Professional YouTuber here. If you want to check those out, have a look at buymeacoffee.com/Beyond Authentic. Let's have a look in the chat again. Thank you so much for the reading. It def makes sense. No worries, my darling. That contract thing just a little bit awkward. Anyway, last time tonight, if you would like a reading, and this is the last chance, if you want to QJUMP, it's the last chance to do it. It's the last chance to get a reading tonight. We're going to do one more reading. We close at 9 UK time, everybody. So if you would like a reading, go ahead and pop your question into the chat, starting with the word question. And if you need to know a little bit more about how that's done, just follow this handy dandy YouTube video. Right then, everybody, let's have a look at what is in the chat. I don't know if you just heard me whistling and ringing the bell. I'm trying to wake Wispy up. He is very tired. We've had a very long weekend, and I don't blame him. Right, who have we got? We're going to who's this? Oh, it's a black screen. SK, my darling. When will Niharika? Excuse me. When will Niharika Taluja and I, when are you going to reconcile? She's a Scorpio, you're Sagittarius. There's no contact. Like 10. Okay, my darling. Right, there's a love block. Right, my darling. I will have a look at that for you. Let me just take that banner off. I will have a look at that for you. If there's been no contact, that might be your own answer, my darling, but I will certainly have a look. Right then, Wispy, for the last time tonight before you get a day's rest and you can sleep. Oh, there you are. That's me kombucha. It's not alcohol. It's only a kombucha. I know, right? Let me just have a look then. So, Wispy, for the very last time tonight, my wonderful, wonderful dragon, SK wants to know, when will Niharika Taluja and SK reconcile? Niharika is a Scorpio, SK is a Sagittarius, but there's been no contact. So we would like to see if there is anything talking about a reconciliation. That's what we would like. Neil, could you do me a favor and just keep an eye on the chat, because there's no way I can have that up, but for some reason doodah, my weird vibe is going, just watch the chat. I don't want one of those bot channels to infiltrate us. We've had a really good live stream today. I don't want that bot coming in. Right, Wispy, when will Niharika, Taluja, and SK reconcile? Let's have a look. Right, there's no card flipped. Maybe we want a bit of Scarlet coming in as well. Do we want Scarlet as well? That's the fire energy. We want fire and air. Let's have a look. Right then, cut the cards. Oh, there we go. Right, for the last time tonight then, let's have a look at your cards. Page of Swords in where you are now. The Eight of Wands is what you need to know. Oh, the Emperor as the opportunity card. Right, my darling, let's have a look. So, Page of... Oh, it wasn't Page of Wands, it's Page of Swords. So, this is... Swords is your trouble and strife suit, right? That's just... Sorry, everyone, my chat box just popped up. So, Page of Swords, Swords of Trouble and Strife. This is youthful energy. So I don't know whether Niharika is younger than you or whether you are quite young, but there is quite a young energy here. This card is talking, is very... Look, all for the last 2 days, all I've been saying to people is this is tarot without the fluffy bits, right? So I'm going to say it as it is said to me. Don't take this the wrong way, SK, my darling, but I'm going to give you the message as literally it's being passed. It's like, look, it's over, and it may well be time for you to move on in some way. Reason I'm saying that is because the Page of Knights, it's like this childlike kind of energy. And this is where you are right now. And it's almost like, and please, my darling, don't take this the wrong way, but it's almost like you want to hold on to your teddy bear and you want to hold on to it and not share your toys, if that makes sense. And that is going to be quite difficult for you to deal with, if that makes sense, because this is reversed. It's difficult accepting that this is that lesson for you to learn, my darling. And I don't think, judging by the 3 cards, that there is a reconciliation. But I think for you, my darling, I think you're really struggling to accept that things might be done. And I think that's what this sticking point is, because yes, we've got the sword here. Let me show you the right way up. Hang on. There we go. So we've got the sword, but it's not used in an attack position. It's not even used defensively. It's just slung over this person's shoulder. But what they're doing, interestingly, is reading. And this is that naivety, and this is that innocence, and this is the learning that's going to lift the light on that innocence, okay? And it's almost like a part of you doesn't want to accept the reality. And so by holding on, literally the first thing is hanging on like to your teddy bear. You don't want to share your toys. And I don't think that's like a negative. If you were in a relationship, excuse me. If you were in a relationship together and it's dwindled and it's ended, then that is always going to be painful. And of course it's going to be painful, especially if mistakes were made maybe on both parts, or maybe there was a little bit of something that you did that maybe was misconstrued, or something that you did that was absolutely like understood exactly how it was meant, but that now you regret. And unfortunately in life, sometimes we do things that we shouldn't, and we have to learn to pay the price for what we've done. Does that make sense? And sometimes with the best will in the world, you can say something, and once it's out of your mouth, you can never take that statement back. And quite often, as much as you can say to until the cows come home, I didn't mean it like that. It wasn't meant like, but you misunderstood, blah, blah, blah. Once it's out of your mouth, it's out in the universe and it's done. Now, in the what you need to know, we've got the Eight of Wands, and this is reversed. Now, this, again, this is where it's always the guidance you need, the answers you need, not the answers you want, right? This is talking about, look, it's a set of fireworks, right? And Wands is that fire suit. It's that fire elemental energy. I always talk about in standard decks, the wands are thrown out of a window, like the sticks of wood are thrown out the window, and then you run down the stairs and you pick up the pieces that you want to take forward. You take some of that energy with you. In this case, it's literally you are exploding all of it, right? Wands is your sense of security, confidence, all of that good stuff. And what you need to know, this is saying, look, it's not comfortable when somebody doesn't want to be with you anymore, right? It's sad. But also you can't force somebody to be with you that doesn't want to. And sometimes this resetting, this explosive boom of I am resetting my life, I am, you know, throwing everything and I'm starting over. Sometimes that's what we need to do. And it's the best thing that we can do. But this is blocking you, my darling, right now. This is you're not moving forward in that way. Does that make sense? And it's like, this is what you need to know. And it's, look, it's time not to get over the relationship, because sometimes that will never happen. But I think it's time for you to find a way of moving forward. And again, it's not getting over, it's not moving on, it's moving forward. And that block for you at the moment is like the fuse is lit, but you keep snuffing it out because you don't want to admit that perhaps this is over. In the opportunity card, you've got the Emperor, right? The Emperor is all about authority, learning, gaining skills, and gaining the ability to be your best self, your higher self, all of that. The Emperor has... I literally can't pick the cards up. The Emperor has the overall authority in the deck. So the Emperor is somebody who is like higher than the kings, and the Emperor is somebody who has studied, has earned their way up, worked their way up through the ranks. It's like somebody who is in that final position of authority, and this opportunity is there. So it's like, this is a really good chance for you to grow, a really good chance for you to learn and to become like a complete, well-rounded human, if that makes sense. I'm not saying you're not now, but it's like for you to grow into that mature, grown-up adult version of yourself, that you'll look back on this sort of time period. And again, I don't know how old you are, but you'll look back on this time period as, right, that was really tough to go through, and I made some mistakes, and you know what, it took a short, sharp shock for me to find a way forward. But you know what, I needed to learn that lesson to be able to become who I am now. And this is almost like your future echo, sending it back through time, because the tarot cards don't really understand time as we know it, because the Akashic records, which is where all this knowledge is based, time doesn't work. It's wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. Everything is there all at once. And so when we're talking timelines, it's like your future self is absolutely looking back at this and saying, do you know what, it was shit to go through, I hated going through it, but now I'm out the other side, I can understand, and I'm grateful that I've learned those lessons, because I'm not going to make those same mistakes. I hope, my darling, that helps. I really, really, really do. It's never easy going through a breakup. It's never easy going through a relationship, or, you know, ending up not being with someone that you want to be with. That can be really, really tough and really disheartening. So my heart goes out to you, my darling. It really, really does. But also, when it's over, sometimes we have to just recognize that it is over, and we've got to find a different path to move forward. I hope that helps. I really, really do. The outcome here, the opportunity, is actually a good one. It's just getting you to that point might take a little bit of time. So don't try and rush it. Don't try and kind of, you know, start seeing someone else tomorrow, all of that. The best thing to do is to look at this card, the Eight of Wands. Look at this card as basically what is important in your life, what is meaningful in your life, what have you got to bring someone in a relationship, what is it that you want from a relationship. Do those two things, you know, do they match up? Is there anything that you can do to improve how that matches up for future relationships? Is there any lessons you can learn from previous mistakes? All of that would be the work that this card's talking about, that will lead you into that emperor to come. I hope that helps, my darling. I really, really, really do. Let me just go back into the chat screen. I can see lots and lots of comments. Let's have a look. Thank you. Oh, no problem, my darling. Let me have a look if there's got any other comments. Yeah, you can take that. She's younger than you, but you are teenagers. Yeah, I think, my darling, I think that, in all honesty, I think that you've got to find a way to be able to move forward. And listen, right? I should not say this. I should not say this because the love of my life is sat in the lounge at the moment, right? My husband, the person that is my best match, my soulmate, my twin soul, all of that. And I'm incredibly grateful that we met, and I love the bones off the man. I would take a bullet for him. There is always going to be a very special place in my heart, though, for my first ever boyfriend, the first person that I fell for. There will always be a little place in my heart that is forever his. He was a git, he was a sod, he was a horrible, looking back, he was just, it wasn't good, but he was the first person that I suddenly went, oh, love is actually a thing, and it's not just this thing that films talk about. It's actually a feeling in here. I will always remember that, and I will always be grateful for him for that. The rest of it, he can fuck right off, but there is a little piece of my heart that will always be attached to that git, right? But that is going to be the same for you, right? In 20 years' time, in 50 years' time, in 70 years' time, when you are telling your grandkids and your great-grandkids about your wonderful life and all the things, and you'll probably be on Mars in a space dome because we'll be in space by then, all of that, right? There will be a part of you that will still say, do you know what? I remember this girl. And you will have a little tiny slither of her left in your memory that will always be devoted to her. That doesn't mean she's the right person, your twin soul, your soulmate, right? Take that, my darling, with love, with kindness. I really hope that helps. And if Rufus is listening to this, you've got the rest of my heart, my love. You've got like 99.9% of it, but there's a little slither that's already been taken. I hope that helps. I've probably got myself in a bit of bother now. I haven't. But yeah. That is it from today's stream. I hope that helps everybody. It's 9. Look at me finishing on time. Neil hasn't even kicked me yet. He hasn't even kicked my chair. But there we go. It is 9 o'clock here in the UK. We do end here at 9. If you didn't get yourself a reading, there's a couple of things you can do. If you want, you can join us again on Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. UK time. I will be streaming again here on the YouTubes. Or you can go across to buymeacoffee.com/Beyond Authentic, where, of course, you can buy a coffee, book a reading, all of that. But you can also check me out just down here at beyondauthentic.co.uk. I've got my own website. There's a bit of details on there. We'll be putting more bits and pieces on there as I develop the website. If you want to go and check that out, please do. But everybody, please say a huge thank you. We'll have a lovely roll tide wave emoji, a wave emoji, roll tide for our lovely mods. I'm going to be using that all the time now. So the mods have been amazing. I will stick the photo on all the socials with me and the mods because they are the most amazing bunch of people. I love every single one of you. And I'm not just saying that because one of you sat here within punching distance, but I love you all. I thank you all. And yeah, that is it for me. I will see you again very, very soon. And as I always say, stay you, stay true, stay authentic. And I will definitely see you next time, which should be Tuesday evening. I'm just scrabbling. There we go. Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Thanks very much. And I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.